Hey everybody, I'm Mithun Shah. I'm of Indian origin and I live in Belgium. And I love following the news anywhere in the world. And it's Indian news I follow quite a lot as well. So one day, around Republic's Day. Now Republic's Day is the day that India got its constitution. India had independence from the British in 1947, but it got its constitution a few years later. And Republic's Day is the day of celebration of the Constitution of India. So very important day. And then a couple of days after Republic's Day, there is Beating of the Retreat, which is a musical extravaganza by the military bands. The Air Force is represented, the Navy, as well as the Army. Their musical bands play a whole bunch of songs. A lot of it is based on tradition. And one song especially, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is Abide With Me, which is a Christian hymn, has always been presented during this event. For 8 or 9 years, there has been talk to replace this Christian hymn with another song more fitting as India, what it represents today. So this year, the Indian government finally decided that, yes, we're going to make this change. And because of it, there's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of people thinking, should we have changed it? Should we have kept it the same? In India, there's a very strong Hindu-centric government, because of which there's also a lot of talk that they want to, Hindufy India or make India more follow the Hindi language as well. So what is the motive of this change? And that is what the whole discussion is about. But I thought of tackling this slightly different. Not of what is the motive of this change, but what does this change actually mean? Because of this change, what are we not going to hear anymore? And what are we going to start hearing? So just from the musical point of view. So I skipped through all of the politics. There's this politics of, it being Gandhi's favorite song, and that's why maybe it's taken out. See, again, another, and then another is because it's with a more Indian patriotic song that it wants to be replaced by. But look, Republic's Day is a huge event in India, right? And I personally didn't know about this Beating of the Retreat ceremony at all until this controversy even started. Because of this controversy, I thought it would be more interesting. Let me understand what's going to change. So during this small journey, I've prepared for you some of the things that were there and are not going to be there anymore. And on the flip side, what it's going to be replaced by musically. Ciao. So that was pretty awesome, huh? Now, for me, the most favorite part of it was the transitions. When the music transitioned from that really heavy brass band, all of that went very quiet, and then the solo individualist with the xylophone did his piece. But it wasn't a complete solo, right? The whole band was there throughout, rumbling in the background. And there were times when there was a transition, when it went from very soft to loud and then reverse and then reverse. For me, that was the most beautiful part. I'm going to play it again from another year, same song, another year. And this time I'm just going to play the parts where the transition is very obvious or more obvious. Have a look out to that transition and try to see what you feel of those. So you'll see other military bands have done renditions of this tune, right? But none of them do the transition the way the Indian military does it on Republic's Day, beating the retreat parade. I'm going to show you now very quickly one of another military service or people dressed up in band and how they do the rendition. Look at the transition; it's there, but it's not there. So you guys got to understand, abide by me, this rendition is of the military band doing it is not the most common rendition of it. It's a Christian hymn song, so it's sung in church a lot. However, what I did want to play for you is the rendition which is most popular on YouTube. The one, if you look on YouTube, what the song is that you're likely going to see, the first thing that's going to pop up. So have a look at the most viewed rendition on YouTube. And again, I've focused on the transition part. See how that is taking the transition as well.
Hold out thy cross before my closing eyes.
because of seeing this song from a country's, I mean, from a national point of view, not from a religious point of view, I sort of started thinking, what does this symbolize? And not knowing much about the story of the hymn behind it, if I just interpret the music, how I see it is it's similar to the story of India at different times. So there are different times in the history of India, like any other nation as well, that the whole nation is rumbling together. And then there is this one voice which is able to lead or focus the whole nation together in a way forward. And it's very symbolic that this was also one of Gandhi's favorite songs. And for me, Gandhi, along with many other Indian national heroes, are those sorts of people that, that singular voice is able to unify a country this large. So that's the most magical thing for me in this whole piece is the transition of the whole rumbling together down a bit, so that one voice is heard loud and clear, and then it moves on so that one voice continues to be part of the piece onwards. I'll show you once again this transition, but it's interesting from a musical point of view because I'll zoom in to what the conductor is doing, where the xylophone music is coming from. Now I want to play you another rendition from another year. As you can see, this thing has been done, for decades, right? And we just have a couple which are on YouTube from the last 10, 15 years or so. But anyway, I'm going to show you another rendition from another year. And here it's going to highlight, again, the part that I like the most, the silence, the collective silence that happens in the band. And I'm going to focus in the transition for the collective silence and just have a look at the way the conductor's hands, sort of go down to the main band and let the xylophone then on the side start doing his thing. I like it a lot. I was watching it from another year once again. And in this one, which is awesome, is during that phase where it's very quiet and the xylophone is just doing its thing, there is this one period where the whole band together just rumbles up, and then the band rumbles down, and then the xylophone continues doing his thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful mix. And again, have a look at the conductor's hands. 6-7 seconds into the clip, he's going to raise it up, and then the whole band is doing its thing, and then he's going to bring it down, the band stops, and then the xylophone continues. Beautiful music. Now it's going to be an interpretation from the Indian Navy Band. And here, what you got to listen to is when the xylophone is going, there's only one other instrument, which is, I think, the deepest instrument they have in the entire band. And he's following up with that, high-pitched violin. And there is this period in the middle where they're not doing it in the same rhythm anymore. At first, I thought it might be a mistake. But then when listening to it properly, it could very well be that it was part of the plan. Check it out. Interesting other interpretation as well. So as you can see, I've seen a pretty big number of renditions of Abide By Me from different artists, different sorts of styles of music. And then we know which one is my favorite one. So beautifully. It is one from the Indian military again. Another Republic's Day parade from 2015, this one is. And the reason I like this so much is that it transitions from one xylophone to another one. And then you're going to see that guy do his thing solo in the middle of everybody. And then that solo xylophone then continues with the whole band later on as well. So my most favorite rendition of Abide By Me, and the part which I like the most. Check it out. All right, so now we know what's going to be taken away. What the Indian military has been doing for decades and is now going to change and is no longer did it for the 2022 Republic's Day Beating the Retreat parade. So it got changed into a different song. And what was that different song? It's an Indian song. It's called "E Mere Vatan Ke Loko," which means "Oh, the people of my republic," or "Oh, the people of my country." And it's a very famous song in India because it was the one that sort of came out during the war that India had with China between 1962 and 1963. It was a war that India lost. India lost quite badly. A lot of Indian soldiers died in that war. And Lata Mangeshkar, who's a very famous Indian singer, she sang it. So I'm going to show you now the original song from the 1960s, which was recorded at the time when it first came out, just during or after the war with China.
शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी है मेरे वतन के लोगों जरा आँख में भर.
So you got to understand that this song, "E Mere Vatan Ke Loko," it's a song that the average Indian has heard plenty of times in his life. And he's also heard it in a band setting plenty of times in his life. It's a very well-known song. The average Indian knows about the song, knows the lyrics of the song, and the lyrics of the songs are very, very impactful. It goes something along the lines that when we were comforted in our house, our soldiers were on the battlefields taking bullets for us. So it is a very deep, sentimental song. The translation, it's extremely deep. But the way that we've heard the song growing up in a band setting, I'll play two different versions of that just so that you get an idea of how we've heard "E Mera Vatan Ke Loko" played in a band for a big part of our lives.
आँख में भर लो
So then now we come to the final so what. Okay, so what happened? They changed the song. You know what it was before. You know what it was changed into. But how did they actually play it on the parade on 2022, which is the first time they did not play Abide by Me, and they started playing "Ye Mere Vatan Ke Logo" instead. How was it? What do you think? Listen to how they played it, and then let's see what we both think about it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I heard that rendition the first time from the 2022 Republic Day parade, I had a huge smile on my face when I saw and heard that they kept the xylophone. For me, that was the essence of that time that is given to this song or any song during such an important day for India. And that essence has been kept. Now, you use that or you do that in one song or the other song, the question mark is, does it really matter or not? And that's the beautiful thing about music, or at least this time music for me. Without the controversy with the songs being changed, I would never have probably heard of Abide by Me. I would definitely not have had an opinion about it. And also, I would not have dived so deeply into what it is and what all the different renditions are. So from this whole thing, I've learned a couple of lessons, right? The first is, don't judge without understanding. In India, a lot of people have an opinion, a very strong opinion about whether the song should be changed or not changed, without listening to either one of the final songs, the original Abide by Me or the new one, Ye Mere Vatan Ke Logo. So I would really, lesson of life is, understand before making a decision. Another big lesson for me is music and the conversation it creates. Because of this controversy in music, there is this conversation, and because of this conversation, we start asking ourselves, what is India or what is India? Yeah. And everyone has their own interpretation of what India is and how India should be represented, both in the musical sense or any other sense as well. And finally, the third lesson, not the third lesson, but actually because of all of this, what is the way forward? And that is actually a lesson of what India is, right? It's a representation, I feel, of all different cultures, melted into one big federation, republic called India. It's very, very befitting that it's on our Constitution Day, the day that the republic was formed, the rules of the republic were written. And one of the most beautiful things about the Indian Constitution, apart from it being the largest constitution word-wise in the world, the reason is because so many rights are given to so many different people. One of the most beautiful things about the Constitution is how it mixes and matches our identity. It understands our identity is not any one thing, but it has been formed over such a long period of time, and it gives the platform so that we can still continue to form this identity as we grow as a nation as well. So which song should be played on this day, on this very important day? This song, which has so much history, well, both songs have so much history, but which should it be? My opinion, right? It should be a remix. India is a nation which has been remixed constantly over the past centuries. The India today is different from the India, 200 years ago, different from the India 400 years ago, 600 years ago. It's always evolving as a nation. And how it has evolved is it's taken what's best from the past and the vision of the future and mixed it together. So if we can do that in real life, right, why can't we do that with these two songs? Why can't we remix it? And 2023, we put this whole controversy to an end. We continue the conversation that, remix, remake, make better. And that's what India is, right? So here's to the remix 2023. Ye Mere Vatan Ke Logo, and Abide By Me, together in one. What India is, together in one.